1. A paraprofessional is asked to help a student revise a persuasive essay. Which strategy best supports effective revision? A. Correcting all grammar mistakes first. B. Rewriting the entire essay in a more advanced style. C. Focusing on the strength of arguments and clarity of ideas. D. Adding as many transitional phrases as possible. 2. During a writing activity, a student struggles to maintain subject-verb agreement. What should the paraprofessional do first? A. Correct all the mistakes for the student. B. Review examples and practice with the student. C. Tell the student to ignore the rule temporarily. D. Ask the teacher to reassign the student. 3. A student uses vague pronouns throughout a narrative. Which paraprofessional strategy would best improve clarity? A. Replace pronouns with more pronouns. B. Encourage use of proper nouns for clarity. C. Remove all pronouns from the story. D. Skip the editing step and submit as is. 4. In supporting adult learners in GED prep, a paraprofessional emphasizes concise writing. Which strategy is most effective? A. Encourage lengthy explanations. B. Focus on one-sentence paragraphs. C. Promote word economy and clarity. D. Emphasize using as many adverbs as possible. 5. A paraprofessional supports students who struggle with organizing ideas. Which method best addresses this issue? A. Reviewing grammar rules. B. Using sentence diagramming. C. Teaching outlines and graphic organizers. D. Memorizing spelling rules. 6. A student's writing lacks topic sentences. What should the paraprofessional do to support improvement? A. Add topic sentences for the student. B. Highlight sentences that could work as topics. C. Remove unrelated ideas. D. Ignore topic sentences altogether. 7. Which of the following is the best way to help a student write a strong conclusion? A. Repeat the introduction word for word. B. Add a new topic to surprise the reader. C. Summarize key points and provide closure. D. Use a generic sentence like "that's all." 8. A student uses overly complex language that hinders readability. How should the paraprofessional respond? A. Encourage even more complex vocabulary. B. Recommend use of a thesaurus for variety. C. Teach plain, audience-appropriate language. D. Focus on spelling accuracy instead. 9. During peer review, a paraprofessional notices students only correcting spelling. What guidance should be given? A. Focus peer review solely on punctuation. B. Limit feedback to the first paragraph. C. Teach students to address content, organization, and clarity. D. Eliminate peer review entirely. 10. A paraprofessional works with English learners on writing. Which approach supports grammar and fluency development? A. Correct every error immediately. B. Use sentence frames and model writing. C. Avoid writing practice until speaking improves. D. Ignore grammar issues completely. (11) A paraprofessional observes a student struggling to understand prompts. Which is the most effective intervention? A. Read the prompt aloud without discussing it. B. Provide written instructions only. C. Teach how to break down prompts into keywords. D. Rewrite the prompt for the student. 12. Which of the following best defines the role of a paraprofessional in evaluating student writing? A. Grading essays independently. B. Providing feedback aligned with teachers' goals. C. Assigning new writing tasks. D. Creating rubrics. 13. How should a paraprofessional assist with writing conferences in a classroom? A. Replace the teacher in leading the session. B. Take over student writing. C. Support students in articulating their ideas. D. Write model papers for students. 14. What is the most appropriate use of a writing rubric by a paraprofessional? A. To assign final grades. B. To help students self-assess and revise. C. To determine group placement. D. To replace teacher evaluation. 15. A student writes short, choppy sentences. What strategy should the paraprofessional use? A. Remove every other sentence. B. Encourage sentence combining and varied structure. C. Count words per sentence. D. Convert all to fragments for practice. 16. During a timed writing task, a student becomes anxious and stops writing. What is the best paraprofessional response? A. Take away the assignment. B. Encourage deep breathing and planning before writing. C. Write the response for the student. D. Allow unlimited time without structure. 17. What is a key principle of adult learning relevant to writing instruction? A. Adults prefer rote memorization. B. Adults benefit most from lecture-only formats. C. Adults need relevance and practical application. D. Adults learn best with no feedback. 18. When mentoring a new paraprofessional, which guidance is most helpful regarding writing instruction? A. Correct all student writing immediately. B. Focus only on grammar rules. C. Encourage modeling, scaffolding, and feedback. D. Emphasize passive observation. 19. A paraprofessional helps a student revise a personal narrative. Which focus area is most important? A. Vocabulary variety. B. Accuracy of dates. C. Story flow and emotional impact. D. Length of each paragraph. 20. A paraprofessional uses student writing samples to measure growth. Which method enhances validity? A. Use a consistent rubric over time. B. Change grading criteria each time. C. Compare to unrelated writing. D. Focus only on spelling accuracy. 21. A paraprofessional wants to encourage peer collaboration in writing. What is the most effective approach? A. Pair students randomly. B. Encourage structured peer feedback sessions. C. Assign the same task to all students. D. Limit interactions during writing. 22. How can a paraprofessional help students improve sentence fluency? A. Model rhythm and varied structures in writing. B. Eliminate all dependent clauses. C. Restrict use of commas. D. Only allow short sentences. 23. Which revision strategy promotes clarity and coherence in writing? A. Reading the essay backward. B. Highlighting repeated words. C. Reorganizing paragraphs based on main ideas. D. Counting adjectives in each sentence. 24. A student has difficulty transitioning between ideas. What is the best intervention? A. Add random conjunctions. B. Teach transition words and paragraph organization. C. Eliminate transitions entirely. D. Focus only on spelling. 25. Which is the most ethical action for a paraprofessional during a writing assessment? A. Write the outline for the student. B. Offer general encouragement only. C. Provide exact sentence starters. D. Rewrite the conclusion. 26. A paraprofessional observes a student using fragments. Which response is most appropriate? A. Ignore them. B. Identify fragments and teach complete sentence structure. C. Count how many the student wrote. D. Focus only on spelling. 27. How can paraprofessionals support differentiated instruction in writing? A. Use identical worksheets for all students. B. Provide writing tools and scaffolds based on student needs. C. Only assist advanced learners. D. Eliminate peer support. 28. What is the most effective way to model editing for students? A. Correct their papers silently. B. Edit a sample aloud and explain reasoning. C. Point to errors without explanation. D. Avoid editing in front of students. 29. A paraprofessional wants to help students write with voice. Which strategy supports this goal? A. Encourage use of personal tone and expressive language. B. Limit all first-person pronouns. C. Use only formal academic style. D. Avoid emotional language. 30. Which instructional strategy best supports writing development for adult learners? A. Drill and kill grammar worksheets. B. Writing tasks that mirror real-world scenarios. C. Memorizing vocabulary lists. D. Copying textbook paragraphs. 31. Which approach demonstrates compliance with FERPA during writing activities? A. Discussing student essays publicly. B. Sharing writing samples without names. C. Posting graded work in the hallway. D. Emailing student papers to external tutors. 32. A student writes vague thesis statements. What should the paraprofessional focus on? A. Clarifying the main idea and purpose. B. Removing the thesis entirely. C. Replacing it with a question. D. Ignoring the introduction. 33. What feedback best supports a student's writing revision? A. Good job. B. Try expanding this idea with an example. C. This is wrong. D. Rewrite this whole thing. 34. How should a paraprofessional address plagiarism concerns in student writing? A. Ignore it. B. Model paraphrasing and citing sources. C. Rewrite passages. D. Tell the student not to worry. 35. What writing strategy supports development of strong body paragraphs? A. Use one sentence per paragraph. B. Ensure each paragraph supports the thesis with evidence. C. Repeat the topic sentence 3 times. D. Include unrelated facts. 36. A paraprofessional encourages students to pre-write. What is the main benefit? A. Reduces need for revision. B. Promotes clear organization and planning. C. Eliminates grammar errors. D. Increases word count. 37. Which of the following aligns with adult learning theory in writing instruction? A. Using abstract theory with no application. B. Providing clear context and relevance to tasks. C. Ignoring feedback. D. Limiting instruction to handouts. 38. A paraprofessional is helping students improve word choice. What is the best strategy? A. Using a word bank and context clues. B. Removing all adjectives. C. Substituting with random synonyms. D. Encouraging use of clichés. 39. When supporting students with IEPs in writing, what is a key responsibility of the paraprofessional? A. Implement accommodations as outlined. B. Change learning goals. C. Give extra homework. D. Write the paper for the student. 40. A paraprofessional helps with a timed writing exam. What is appropriate support? A. Giving the student extra time without approval. B. Providing quiet encouragement. C. Explaining test questions. D. Typing the answers. 41. What is a strong indicator of student growth in writing? A. More pages written. B. Use of longer words. C. Improved coherence and depth of ideas. D. Fewer punctuation marks. 42. A student asks for help writing an introduction. What guidance is best? A. Start with a hook and introduce the topic. B. Begin with a random quote. C. Leave it blank until the end. D. Use the conclusion as the introduction. 43. When co-planning writing instruction with a teacher, a paraprofessional should focus on A. Copying the lesson word for word. B. Aligning support strategies with objectives. C. Creating independent curriculum. D. Taking over instruction. 44. A paraprofessional notes a student's work lacks focus. What is the likely cause? A. Spelling issues. B. No clear thesis or controlling idea. C. Too many metaphors. D. Poor penmanship. 45. How should a paraprofessional support writing instruction in a multilingual classroom? A. Ignore language needs. B. Offer language-specific writing supports. C. Use only English dictionaries. D. Eliminate writing assignments. 46. A paraprofessional models editing by identifying run-ons. What should they emphasize? A. Deleting extra words. B. Understanding independent clauses and punctuation. C. Rewriting every sentence. D. Memorizing conjunction lists. 47. A student revises by rearranging words without improving clarity. How can the paraprofessional help? A. Focus on sentence purpose and clarity. B. Count how many words changed. C. Ignore the revision. D. Correct everything for the student. 48. A paraprofessional mentors a peer struggling with writing instruction. What support is best? A. Provide modeling and guided practice. B. Offer criticism without context. C. Take over all student instruction. D. Recommend avoiding writing tasks. 49. Which is the most appropriate writing support for students with anxiety? A. Pressure them to write faster. B. Provide structured support and positive reinforcement. C. Eliminate all deadlines. D. Limit feedback. 50. What is a key benefit of student reflection in writing? A. Decreases performance. B. Encourages accountability and metacognition. C. Focuses only on peer feedback. D. Eliminates the need for revision. 51. Which is a writing instructional best practice for paraprofessionals? A. Assigning final grades. B. Providing timely, formative feedback. C. Submitting work for students. D. Focusing only on handwriting. 52. A paraprofessional uses a checklist during a writing session. What is the purpose? A. Increase pressure. B. Guide students through self-monitoring. C. Limit creativity. D. Avoid discussion. 53. What instructional model best supports writing skill development? A. Direct instruction with modeling, practice, and feedback. B. Lecture-only delivery. C. Silent writing without review. D. Isolated grammar drills. 54. When evaluating writing growth, a paraprofessional should look for A. Changes in handwriting style. B. Improvements in organization and content depth. C. Increased page length only. D. Fewer metaphors. 55. A paraprofessional supports revision by encouraging A. Sentence expansion and idea clarification. B. Complete rewriting by the adult. C. Cutting all adjectives. D. Avoiding peer input. 56. A paraprofessional helping students develop arguments should emphasize A. Repeating the opinion often. B. Supporting claims with relevant evidence. C. Using unrelated anecdotes. D. Focusing only on conclusion length. 57. A student repeatedly misspells common words. What strategy supports improvement? A. Highlight patterns and provide practice. B. Ignore spelling entirely. C. Rely only on spell check. D. Focus on punctuation instead. 58. A paraprofessional encourages students to set writing goals. Why is this effective? A. It delays instruction. B. It promotes ownership and targeted improvement. C. It eliminates instruction time. D. It restricts creativity. 59. What is one ethical boundary paraprofessionals must maintain during writing support? A. Writing content for the student. B. Clarifying expectations and scaffolding. C. Taking over instruction. D. Grading the final paper. 60. A paraprofessional notices students do not revise after feedback. What is the best action? A. Punish the behavior. B. Teach revision strategies and explain the purpose of feedback. C. Accept unedited drafts. D. Only focus on new assignments. ParaPro Writing Skills Test. The ParaPro Writing Skills Test is part of the ParaPro Assessment, designed to evaluate a paraprofessional's ability to support instruction in reading, writing, and math. The writing section focuses on basic grammar, punctuation, sentence structure, and usage, as well as the ability to recognize and correct common errors in written English. It also assesses a candidate's understanding of how to assist students with writing tasks, such as organizing ideas, using transitions, and developing clear and coherent sentences and paragraphs. This multiple-choice test includes both general writing questions and classroom-based scenarios to ensure that paraprofessionals are prepared to support student writing under the supervision of a licensed teacher. Here are the top 5 beneficial uses of the ParaPro Writing Skills Test. 1. Employment qualification. The test is often required for paraprofessionals working in K-12 classrooms, proving competency in writing support. 2. Instructional support. It ensures paraprofessionals can effectively assist students with grammar, sentence structure, and writing organization. 3. Communication skills. The test assesses the ability to understand and convey information clearly in both written and instructional formats. 4. Academic reinforcement. Certified paraprofessionals can help reinforce classroom lessons in writing and language arts. 5. Career pathway. Passing the test opens doors to further educational roles and supports progress toward becoming a licensed teacher.